Okay, so let's get right into it. We're going to break down one of the most powerful and, yeah, let's be honest, one of the most polarizing ideas in modern self-help. And that's this idea that you are the one who holds the key to everything you want in life.
And that question? Well, it's actually the title of a book by author Rachel Hollis. But it's more than that, right? It perfectly captures the core promise of the entire, multi-billion-dollar self-help industry. The promise is super simple, kind of seductive even. It says, the solution to your problems, the key to your best life, it's not out there somewhere. Nope, it's already inside of you.
I mean, it's a super empowering message, right? Hollis has built a whole brand on this idea. She kind of pulls from principles from folks like the ancient Stoics, suggesting that we can control how we respond to life's challenges. The core message is that, hardship doesn't have to break us. It can actually make us stronger.
So, what's at the heart of all this? It's really about radical ownership. It's about taking control, pushing past that self-doubt we all feel, and really tapping into your fullest potential. And the way you do that is by looking inward for the answers, not outward.
The ultimate goal here, well, it's a term psychologists use, self-actualization. And what's really cool about this concept is the nuance. See, it's not saying you need to know your one grand purpose in life with a capital P. The idea is that you can still live with purpose just by taking intentional action in your own life, day by day.
Okay, so you have this really empowering message, but what happens when you release it out into the world? Well, in this particular case, it was met with a very, very different answer from the public.
Yeah, online communities, specifically a subreddit called Hollis Uncensored, they immediately went after the book's whole premise. And the criticism was fast and it was sharp. It really focused on a few key things: that the ideas weren't original, that the author had a problematic history, and that the message itself was just kind of shallow.
Wow. I mean, this quote really captures the feeling, doesn't it? Critics just labeled the whole concept a nothing burger. They were questioning its originality, its depth, especially in such a crowded self-help market. You can almost feel the sarcasm coming off that quote.
And it didn't stop there. Some people went even further. They literally flipped the book's title right on its head, basically saying the author herself was the problem. I mean, talk about a stark contrast to the book's inspirational vibe. It just highlights this massive disconnect between the message that was intended and how some people actually heard it.
So, okay, we've got this fascinating conflict brewing. But here's what's really interesting to me. The core idea, this whole concept of being your own answer, it is not new. Not at all. In fact, it's ancient. I mean, we can literally trace this line of thinking back thousands of years, right to the foundations of Western philosophy. You've got Socrates and his daily self-examination. You've got the Stoics focusing on internal control. And it goes all the way up to Maslow's modern psychological framework. This is a truly timeless principle.
And this just illustrates the point perfectly. For these brilliant thinkers, from Socrates way back when to Wittgenstein more recently, the whole point of philosophy was to help us guide our lives and clear up our thinking. For Socrates, that meant examining himself. For Wittgenstein, it was about freeing our minds from all the bad assumptions we make.
And the Stoics? Oh man, they were the absolute masters of this. You take a guy like Epictetus, who was born a slave and became this incredible philosopher. They taught that our ideal state, our best life, is achieved when we fulfill our own unique purpose. And the key was to focus only on what you can actually control, yourself. So this all became a central idea in what you might call the philosophy of self. And the key takeaway, the big so what, is that this is an active process. It's the belief that if you don't actively decide who you want to be, don't worry, the world will be more than happy to decide for you. Okay, so that raises a huge question, right? If this idea is so timeless, so profound, why is the modern version of it so controversial? Well, it seems like the difference all comes down to the approach.
Just take a look at this breakdown. Ancient philosophy, it was all about trying to understand universal reality, using, tough, logical debate. Think of Socrates constantly asking, why? Modern self-help, though, is different. It focuses on improving your personal reality through things like journaling prompts and mantras. So you see the difference? One is about understanding the world, and the other is really about feeling better in it.
And this, right here, brings us to the central paradox of this whole debate. This is the real tension at the very heart of this topic. So what are we left with? We have this timeless, really powerful philosophical idea, know thyself,
be your own answer, and now it's been packaged, branded, and sold in a totally modern commercial way. And that right there, that seems to be where all the friction is coming from.
So this forces us to ask a super critical question. Is the message timeless? Does the power of an idea, like self-reliance, just stand on its own? No matter who's saying it or how they're selling it. Is it the wisdom itself that's the important part?
Or has it been lost in translation? Does the modern packaging, the branding, the marketing, the personality of the messenger, does all that fundamentally change the message itself? Does it risk turning this ancient wisdom, something that was meant to be a whole way of life, into just another product on a shelf? And that, really, is the question we're left with.